located in Nazareth, right past Red Hook. Today's beaches are Muller Bay Beach and Vessup Beach. Once you drive through Red Hook, you're going to get to this fork in the road. You're going to go left and then go left again at the stop sign. And you're going to follow this road for a while until you get to this white gate, and then you're going to turn left again. Now, I drove to Muller, but if you go straight instead of turning right like I'm about to, straight will take you to Vessup Beach. Not too long after you make your turn, the beach is going to be on your left, and you can really pull in anywhere you want to park. And you're literally on the sand of the beach, so primo parking. There were almost no cars when I was there, but I have been told that this is a fairly popular local beach, so it can get busy. Like I said, I went to Muller, but on the other side of those rocks is Vessup. I don't think it's a super easy walk across the rocks, but you can definitely swim around them. Just like most of the beaches around here, Muller does have that rocky shelf that is high risk of stepping on an urchin, and it covers most of the beach. The beach is also covered in smaller rocks with shells, which can be kind of uncomfortable to walk in, which is why I recommend entering to the right of the beach. There's still a patch of those smaller rocks, but overall it's much easier and it does lead to sand. Now, if you want to hang out in the shallows, I did find that it was a good place to go hunting for shells. There were quite a few fun-looking ones, and I even had some fishy friends join me. However, if you want to go a little bit deeper, there's sand patches, grass patches, and rock ledges with grass. This was some of the longest seagrass I've seen down here, which was really interesting to look at. And if you keep swimming out, you'll find this sunken sailboat, which was really cool. I came back a couple times for the sole purpose of taking pictures. I also had a buddy that was able to take some pictures of me. Now, there wasn't much current and the water wasn't choppy or wavy, so it is a fairly easy swim. However, there are no lifeguards, so swim at your own risk. And once you're done checking out Muller, you can hop back in your car and drive over to Vessup, or you can swim there. Like I said earlier, not a very easy walk. I'm sure if you're determined enough, it's possible, but it doesn't look very walkable to me. Not only that, but this was where the best snorkeling was in my opinion. There were a couple fairly decent-sized starfish, which were really fun to watch. There was a group of squid, and there were tons of different kinds of fish, like silversides, needlefish, palometa jacks, and other fish that I don't know the names of. There was even a giant hermit crab. Once you're done snorkeling and checking out all the fish, you'll pass the final few rocks and finally be at Vessup. This beach is much less rocky. There was no rock shelf and fewer small rocks. There was also more grass on this side. It was pretty cool to swim over the long grass, but there wasn't too much to see. There was an occasional fish here and there, along with more starfish and even a West Indian sea egg, which is a kind of sea urchin. Overall, though, not much different from Muller. Now on to the scores. Water quality was the same for both beaches, which I would give a 7 out of 10. Sand quality, on the other hand, I would give the upper hand to Vessup because there just wasn't a rock ledge in all the small rocks that Muller has. So I'd give Vessup a 6 out of 10 and Muller a 5 out of 10. Most of the snorkeling is very similar. It's definitely better in the rocks that divide the two beaches. However, that sunken boat off Muller was so cool. I went back a couple times just to check it out. So Muller ranks above in this regard. I would give Muller a 7 out of 10 and Vessup a 5 out of 10. However, the rocks that connect them, I would give a 6 out of 10. No rentals or amenities at either beach. Although there was no crowd when I videoed, I did go back and it definitely does get crowded. So 5 out of 10. Easy access, and again, you're parking on the sand of the beach, so it doesn't get much better than that. 9 out of 10. Although there are a few different rankings overall, I would give both beaches the same score of 7 out of 10. Another beach day, done. Thanks for tagging along. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. There's plenty more St. Thomas beauty coming your way. And if you want to explore more beaches around the USVIs, check out USVIbeaches.com. It has a map and info on each spot to help you plan your next adventure. The link's in my bio. Until next time!